Well, first of all, I'd like to say, on behalf of my wife Sue and myself, how dreadfully sorry we are that we cannot be with you all in person today. For various reasons, this was not possible, but I am grateful to Sabine, who kindly suggested that perhaps I could create a video which could be shown at this very special event. So whilst we are not with you in person, we are most definitely with you in every other way. So where should I begin? Well, I think that I shall start by saying that we have known Lucius and Sabine for well over 20 years. When we first met, Sue and I could not have known that a wonderful long-lasting friendship had in fact been formed. Although we only met on a few occasions, we have always cherished those wonderful memories, and in the years that have followed, we have kept in contact by email. Now, when we learnt of his passing, it was, to say the very least, a terrible shock, and I have no doubt that in saying that, I could be speaking on behalf of you all. Having personally spent over 50 years studying in depth the spiritualist survivalist movement, and therefore the question, do we survive death? I have become very familiar with people who down the ages have been leaders within the movement. People who in fact created a legacy during their earthly life, because much that they left behind was and is most unforgettable. Now I consider one of them to be Lucius, who was so very dedicated to the cause. Although I have many treasured memories of my contact with Lucius, one of them that really stands out is the occasion when Sue and I, together with my circle leaders Ray and June, visited Switzerland. Lucius had invited me to demonstrate my mediumship, and he was directly responsible for making all of the arrangements. Now, although I trusted Lucius implicitly, I have to say that being a physical medium, I was a little concerned that the necessary essential séance room conditions may have proven very difficult indeed to achieve. However, I have to say that my concerns proved to be absolutely groundless, because I was to find that the conditions were indeed faultless, in fact, perfect. And now, before moving on, I should also like to briefly mention the occasions when a few years ago Lucius and Sabine attended my seminars here in the UK. That was also such wonderful occasions when we were able to actually spend time with them both. Again, lovely, lovely memories. And now I am left wondering what else I can possibly say about a man whose name I know has taken its place amongst the giants who dedicated themselves in so many ways to help prove the reality of survival beyond death. So Lucius, if you are present, if you are listening to what I have just said, then I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you and your dear wife Sabine for your most valued friendship down the years. And now I shall end this short video on a happy note. Now can any of us doubt that Lucius will have been met in the eternal world by so many souls who are indeed indebted to him? And that is most certainly a lovely thought. And so there I shall leave it, and I thank you for listening to what I've had to say and for watching this video. Thank you.
Liebe Lucy, ich weiß, deine Seele hört mich. Ich kenne dich schon 27 Jahre. Ja, du hast einen großen Platz in meinem Herz. Du bist kein Bekannter oder Arbeitspartner. Du bist mein Seelenverwandter. Jedes Mal, wenn bin ich da in Basel, im Flughafen, erste Gesichter, das ist dein Gesichter. Da, dann fahren wir nach deinem Haus. Deine wunderschöne Frau Sabine hat gekocht, etwas süß, etwas schön. Und deine 3 Kinder. Du rufst Assa und 3 Elefanten nach den 2-3 Minuten springt aus 3. Stock nach 1. Ja, du hast eine große, wunderschöne Familie. Wir sind auch deine Familie, ich und Maria. Ich bin sehr, sehr dankbar. Ich habe viel Freunde, auch Seelenverwandte, aber das ist deine Bekannte. Alle sucht dich und nachdem mich. Ja, wir sind eins. Ein ganzes Leben, 27 Jahre wie ein Tag. Wunderschöne Psi-Kongress, wunderschöne Psi-Verein. Denn Arbeit, das ist eine große Hilfe für alle Leute. Und mein Wunsch, deine göttliche Aufgabe weitermachen, Leute helfen. Ja, du bist göttlicher Mensch. Du bist so sauber, so gut. Du bist kein Lucius, du bist Lucy. Lucy. Ja. Und meine Liebe, ich erinnere dich ganz lebend. Du bist hier. Tschüss, meine Liebe.
Hallo, guten Tag oder good afternoon, oder? Good day, huh? Und it's been a long time. I've never been in your country. I'm in Switzerland. Yeah, and I was one time with a congress in Basel, and that's the time I know Lucy, and then Lucy invited me if I want to join, to be a member or to be with the Psi family, no? So, and I said, why not? So, at the time, that was in the Congress, the first time to come to Switzerland, or also first time that I speak in a big crowd, no? Well, it's been a while that I'm not in your country at the moment, and now I'm here in my country, no? Yeah, and of course I cannot travel, and I cannot work also. It's not allowed. I hope that this pandemic will be over soon. Yeah. So, I like very much Lucy. Yeah, because he is dedicated in his work. I mean, the spiritual work. So I am very thankful with the Psi, and of course, everybody or me, I miss him.
Welcome everybody to this memorial for such a beautiful soul, Lucius. I remember all the time I spent with him in Basel as he supported with such an open heart and mind the research that I was doing into the field of finding a solution to end all hunger issues on earth. It was a solution that was a little unusual, but that was him. He was open-minded, open-hearted, and very much interested in any research that could prove to be beneficial for the evolution of humanity. year after year I would come to Basel and be exposed to his beautiful, beautiful, wise and loving energy, watching his beautiful children grow up, hearing about his love of football. I don't know if he did love it so much, but often we would find the streets filling for celebration of football as Lucius took me around the city to introduce the city that he loved so much, as he lovingly supported me in my journey and made me so welcome every time I came. I just want to take a moment to say, what a precious soul, what a wise, what a loving soul, what an incredible father and lover, husband, I'm sure, as well. And I just am blessed, really blessed, to have known and had time with this beautiful man who so lovingly welcomed myself and also my husband into his incredible city. I am sure he is resting in the arms of the angelics, or I don't know, I just know that he is a precious, precious, precious soul and being, and yes, I'm sure we all would say we are graced to have known him. He introduced me to Abby Hoffman and so many others, and he was so special. You all know that. He was a very wise, gentle, loving, strong, clear, supportive being. And my life, really, my life was richer, is richer from knowing him. This is Jasmine, just sharing a little from my heart about this precious soul who has now transcended our world.
This is in memory of Lucy. So many years and so many adventures. It's so important that we remember the ones that came before us, the ones that helped pave the way for us to have this amazing understanding of the nature of consciousness, which is what Lucy was involved with. And then, of course, with the work with the mind-expanding substances. Dieter Hagenbach, what an amazing crew. I remember one time in a conference 30 years ago, we were in Marilyn Ferguson's room, and Albert Hoffman was there, and a few of us, and so of course somebody pulled out a joint and started smoking and passed it to Hoffman, and he says, "I don't do anything stronger than LSD." So this was a bringing together of these brilliant minds. Stan Groff, what a fantastic gathering. But the most recent memory that I have that I want to share with you is a great lesson that he offered me. We were doing the great shamanic initiation 5 years ago in Basel. I had a big audience, and Lucy came during the break to say hello. And I noticed his shoes, and I'm not sure if I remember correctly, and my German was not very good, but his English was perfect. And I said, "Beautiful shoes." And he says, "Yes, I made them myself." I think he said that. But then he said that if you want to follow your own path, you have to make your own shoes. You have to make your own vehicle to follow whatever way, whatever path calls your heart. And he was a man who not only followed his heart, but opened up so many paths, so many ways for the rest of us to follow and to walk with our own shoes, with our own identity and determination. So I toast to him.
Hallo zusammen. Ich möchte zuerst allen Freunden und Bekannten von Lucius mein Beileid aussprechen, und ich bin mega dankbar, dass ich die Möglichkeit bekommen habe, da ein kurzes Video zu machen und meine Erlebnisse mit Lucius zu erzählen. Für mich war Lucy und natürlich auch der ganze Psi-Verein immer sehr, sehr speziell, weil ich komme ja aus der Nähe von Basel, und als ich so meine eigenen medialen Fähigkeiten entdeckt habe, da auf der Suche damals, das ist jetzt schon sehr, sehr lange her, auf der Suche, wo ich vielleicht Hilfe bekommen könnte, wo ich Menschen finden könnte, die mich verstehen, bin ich an die Psi-Tage gekommen oder an die Messe, ja, und bin dann auch dorthin gegangen und habe mir dann mal so der erste Eindruck gemacht von dieser außersinnlichen spirituellen Welt. Ich gebe es zu, es war für mich eine neue, verrückte Welt, weil ich natürlich irgendwo in der Hip-Hop-Szene damals zu Hause war. Aber ich habe da auch Menschen getroffen, die wirklich einfach auch mich verstehen konnten oder die mir auch weiterhelfen konnten. Unter anderem habe ich dort auch Lucius kennengelernt und habe dann auch von ihm erfahren, dass es Seminare gibt, dass es Ausbildungen gibt und habe dann auch meine ersten Seminare besucht und bin dann auch später in die Ausbildung gegangen. Und so war ich eigentlich schon von Anfang an immer sehr verknüpft mit dem Psi-Verein und durch das natürlich auch mit Luci. Und weil ich dann meine Ausbildung fertig hatte und selber als Therapeut arbeiten wollte, da habe ich mich dann wieder an die Psi-Tage erinnert und an die Aura-Ausstellung und habe dann dort mal hingeschrieben und habe dann Luci gefragt, ob es eine Möglichkeit gibt, dort einen Tisch zu machen. Ich hatte damals noch einen Esoterikladen nebenher, meine Produkte zu verkaufen und Beratungen anzubieten. Und ich habe meinen Tisch bekommen. Ich war auch ehrlich gesagt ein bisschen zu spät damals mit der Anmeldung, aber man hat es noch möglich gemacht und man hat mich dann so, in eine Ecke durfte ich dann so meinen Tisch machen, aber das war nicht böse, sondern es war einfach darum, ich war viel zu spät und man wollte mir noch die Chance geben. Und Mike Shiva, den vielleicht auch viele kennen, der war auch dort, der ist dann auch an meinem Tisch vorbeigelaufen, der hat dann gesagt, na, das geht ja gar nicht, dass du da in dieser Ecke bist und so weiter, ist dann zu Lucius gegangen und hat gesagt, ja, könnt doch den Jungen hier nicht in die Ecke tun, da wird er ja nicht gesehen, da kann er ja auch das Geld gar nicht reinspielen, was er für den Tisch ausgegeben hat und so. Und dann hat Lucius gesagt, hey, du weißt, du warst zu spät, aber möchtest du einen Vortrag machen? Und ich habe gesagt, Vortrag? Ich hatte bis damals, klar, schon Vorträge gemacht in der Schule, aber ich habe noch nie was jetzt über spirituelle Dinge erzählt. Aber ich habe dann gesagt, ja, okay, ich mache das. Und für mich war dann dieser Vortrag, den ich dort machen durfte, sind dann auch relativ viele Menschen gekommen. Ich weiß ehrlich gesagt nicht mehr so viele, heute sind es ein paar mehr, aber für mich war das damals sehr, sehr viele Menschen. Und ich durfte dort über Geistführer sprechen. So. Und dann weiß ich noch, Lucius auch mal gefragt, hey, ihr bietet ja auch Seminare an, also Referenten, die bei euch Seminare leiten, gäbe es da vielleicht eine Möglichkeit? Und man muss sich natürlich vorstellen, das ist, glaube ich, jetzt im Ganzen 15, 20 Jahre her. Ich weiß es nicht, gar nicht mehr so genau. Aber ja, ich war halt schon immer tätowiert, das sieht man jetzt vielleicht nicht so groß. Ja, habe immer meinen Kapuzenpulli, also ich war nicht der typisch spirituelle Referent, der jetzt hier mit Verstorbenen spricht oder mit Engeln. Aber man hat mir dann diese Chance gegeben und so bin ich dann eigentlich ein fester Referent geworden. Auch für den Psi-Verein durfte da meine Seminare geben und natürlich haben sich da unsere Wege immer wieder gekreuzt und auch natürlich dann mit Pablo und mit Robin und auch so, ja, man hat immer irgendwie und deswegen finde ich es so schön, dass ich heute Abend kurz meine Geschichte erzählen durfte, weil ja, ich glaube, hätte ich am Anfang den Psi-Verein und auch Lucius nicht gehabt, weiß ich auch nicht, wie ich meinen Weg gemacht hätte. Und deswegen fühle ich mich natürlich auch besonders verbunden. Und das Schöne ist, ich weiß, dass Lucius natürlich genauso an ein Leben nach dem Tod geglaubt habe wie ich. Und ich wünsche einfach allen, dass sie diesen Glauben auch haben. Und ich bin überzeugt, dass er auch heute jetzt bei euch, mit euch dabei ist und sie vielleicht auch gerade dieses Video anhört und die anderen netten Worte und Vorträge und alles, was heute noch so gegeben wird. Ich wünsche euch allen viel Kraft und vielen Dank, dass ich kurz meine Worte an euch richten durfte.
Hello, I'm Howard Martin with HeartMath, and I'm here now to say some words about my friend Lucius on this very special day honoring his life. The first thing I want to acknowledge is that Lucius was a pioneer. He was bringing new thought, esoteric understanding to the people of Europe decades and decades ago, long before it was popular. And his work grew. It grew into the creation of organization, PSI, which evolved into Unity. And so he continued for decades bringing valuable information to people, throughout Europe. And I really want to honor him for that and for his pioneering spirit and his innovation. The first time that I met him was when he brought me to Basel to do a program for PSI held at the Hofmann Hotel. And I remember that he was just so full of energy. He was always running around doing something. He was always busy. He always had this sparkle in his eyes, this happiness about him as he went about what he did. And I thought, well, maybe he seems a little, eccentric, but there's this beautiful, childlike spirit about him that I really love. It's just an enthusiasm that he has. It's magnetic, and I really enjoyed him tremendously as a person. He was also a man with a good heart that had deep care. And I remember something caring that he did for me that really did touch me. It was the last night after the event was over. It was a rainy, cold night in Basel. I didn't have any transportation, nowhere to go. I was at the hotel by myself, waiting to catch a plane the next morning. And Lucius came to me and he said that he was sorry, but he couldn't be with me that night, that he had to go and be with his family. But he wanted to know what he could do for me to make my night special. So he offered to have a meal cooked for me. He said, I'll go down to the kitchen, I'll have them cook something for you. What would you like? He gave me some options. I chose one. And then a little while later, he came up to my room and he had this tray with this beautiful meal on it, this big bottle of wine that he'd gotten for me. And we sat down and we had a few moments of conversation about what had taken place during the weekend, about, life itself, about a lot of things. So it was a really nice heart connection that we have with each other. And he left to go to be with his family, and I remember having this beautiful warm feeling in my heart of really being cared for by him, really taken care of in that moment when you're away, you're in a country far from home on this rainy, cold night, and there's a man who's showing that extra care. And that really meant something to me. It was touching to me. So, wherever Lucius is right now, I'm sure he's still learning, he's still growing, and he's still serving. So I suggest on this day that we all put our love and care out to him, send our heart for him, for his next steps, wherever he is and whatever he's unfolding into, and to honor him for the man that he was, and with a knowingness that he left this world in a better place for having been here. Take good care.